Hey, Freddie. Have you been waiting up this whole time?
Yeah? A goat man sends you off into the night. Your life is on the line. And I'm gonna, what, sleep? I was so worried after you left, and... well, I also felt like crap. You were right to be mad. I said I'd support you as your friend, and I didn't. I don't know why I acted like that. I just had this image of you being swept off into some new world without me.
I get it, Fred, but I do need you. I don't know if I can do this without your help.
I do know more when it comes to Greek mythology. Though I don't know if that last word applies now that we...
Just say you'll help me. I beg you.
Isn't that a given? Just tell me what happened since I saw you last. Huh. Persephone runs a club called the Underworld. That's a little on the nose.
That's what I said.
And you ended up staying with her instead of Apollo? I don't know, Grace. She sounds a little volatile.
他没那么糟糕，的确如此，他有他的苦衷。
She has her reasons. I just hope I don't end up on her bad side again.
You'll figure your way out of it. You're still you.
I am still me. That's true.
So what are your options? You need to go back to Persephone at some point?
I could go back to Apollo's as well. Make sure he's not sore about what happened.
Oh, and, there's this. Pan left a card, says, "Come by Olympus." I doubt he means the mountain in Greece.
神人就在那里生活，他想要干什么？我刚跟他说过话。
Huh. I wonder what he wants.
Probably to cash in his precious favor.
Still not a fan?
You know how some people just set your teeth on edge? That's Pan. I can't help it. But it doesn't matter. I said I'd help, and that's what I'll do. You can count on me, Grace.
Thanks, Freddie.
The muse? Oh, the embodiment of inspiration. Can you believe it?
Yeah, kinda.
Ah, 这个太搞笑了吧！这三个是只能选一个吗？为什么这个字被卡断了？去找他吧。
Oh, back already, are you? It's just as well. I've asked around, called in some favors, just enough to get an idea of what all the idols are currently up to. Much as I'm loath to admit it, I'm back to thinking Pan may be our prime suspect after all.
他要见我，你改变对他的看法。开门见山，我明白了。
Why Pan? I thought you'd rejected him as a suspect.
I did. It doesn't seem like his style. Pan has always preferred scheming over direct confrontation. But the thing is, how did he know about you so quickly? What does he hope to gain by sticking his nose in?
A favor or two, I guess.
Half the idols owe him a favor or two. No, he's up to something else. Until I know what it is, I can't discount the possibility that he's involved in all this.
You should know. Pan asked me to meet him at Olympus. I'm not sure why.
Oh, that's interesting. Did he happen to say what he wanted?
No. He probably wants to cash in his favor.
Huh. That's what he does. Collect favors and then use them to gather even more favors. To what end, I dare not guess.
或许就是这个原因，他好像没有恶意。我不该去见他吗？
Maybe that's what went wrong with Calliope. A favor she wouldn't repay.
Or something she'd discovered and refused to conceal. Now, that would be just like her. You should go ahead and see what Pan wants. It might be useful.
Just throw caution to the wind, huh?
Somehow you'll manage.
你真信任我。
I want to send you to a party, Grace, one Aphrodite is holding. She and Eros know Pan perhaps better than anyone. If you go, it'll give you a chance to find out what he's really up to.
你为什么不去跟他谈谈？为什么去派对？我也可以和潘谈。
You know Aphrodite better than I do. Can't you talk to her?
She and I don't get along.
Like how you and Apollo don't get along?
Even more intensely than that. I once said some things about her husband. They were true, but unwelcome. Suffice it to say, if I showed up at Aphrodite's party, revealing Pan's secrets would be the last thing on her mind.
Why a party? Couldn't I just go wherever she lives and ask her?
You could, but if you go to this party, she'll be grateful. She holds it from time to time and always asked Calliope to attend, but Calliope never would. You can put two and two together. A grateful Aphrodite might be willing to tell you what Pan is really up to.
I still have that invitation from Pan. Maybe it'd be easier if I just went to see him.
You should do both. Just don't believe a single word coming out of his mouth.
I might catch him in a lie, which is just as telling.
If so, you'd be the first.
One wild party with a goddess of love coming up.
It's less of a wild party and more of a somber affair.
You mean like a cocktail party?
Let me put it this way. Apollo will likely be there.
Gotcha. Expectations of fun downgraded considerably. I'll let you know what I find.
忧郁之神降临 party。 还能再聊吗？什么还能再聊吗？再看一下。
I didn't realize come by any time would be taken so literally, Grace. Something specific on your mind?
前脚刚出去，后脚就进来了。跟我说说神人的事，跟我说说哈迪斯的事。Calliope， 哈迪斯。
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big question. To which the answer is, nobody knows. I remember the original Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. I mean, was there something before her? How did she get her idol on? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
这个设定好混乱啊！就比如说，一个神，他是神人，他是从过去传下来的话，那他应该是灵魂一直是他自己的。那如果说中间有换了几代的话，那这个灵魂还是就相当于是被夺舍，对，被附身掉了，还是说是另外一个人灵魂接替下去呢？那这样的话，他们之间这些亲属关系不就真的和过家家一样的吗？
Psst. Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
Gods are okay, but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. No, our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however. We have many. And the last was the day Zeus called us all together to tell us Rome had fallen and we should prepare for war. But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you. The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years later, in the 16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed. Athena calls that period the gap. And that's what it feels like. All of us experienced it, and not one of us knows why or how.
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
I wasn't asleep. I lived. I had lives. I passed on my eidolon. I may have known who I was and what I was, but perhaps I was completely unaware. All I know is that one day, Athena came to my nunnery, near Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back. My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned. If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own, or so she claims, and spent the next century rounding up those idols who remained. Zeus, however, was gone. What became of him, what happened in Rome, we've never pieced it together. It's troubling.
Tell me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
We were.
And
if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Clio, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fancy. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. I mean, Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid name.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Well, we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the muses, it happened frequently. Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
If you disliked the muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
She sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it. What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in. Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. Oh, it made taking her in all the sweeter.
这两个人的故事真不错哎。
After you took Calliope in, that's when you became friends?
Well, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club. Calliope entertained here for years, and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. That's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just
incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband.
that, yeah.
You know, one might think that my hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, that wasn't it. I hated my brothers and sisters for letting it happen, but Hades himself terrified me. He had a presence, I mean, one that forever made him the most important man in the room. And me? Oh, I was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's funny how our perspectives change.
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I did. I grew up. I was a trophy for Hades, a conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging forever. He went out of his way to keep me small. I slowly realized that, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
That's when I killed him, yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
哇，恭喜你姐姐，走向了自由和独立。
I'm guessing the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
Which you weren't happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? Would lie down and take it forever because Hades was more useful to them alive? No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you, but he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow. I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Sucks to be him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far, that hasn't happened.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around?
Oh, yes. That's where I'll be. Around.
很聪明，很有经济头脑。先和攀谈呢，还是先去派对呢？啊，好难选啊。先去见见攀吧，但是不要信他的话。这是哪？感觉好像个政府大楼啊。哇。
I'd say hello, Grace, but I'm afraid that look on your face might be catching.
What is this place?
It's a garden, darling. Surely even mortals have them.
This building. All those people I pass getting up here. Are they all idols?
Oh, at least some of them. Welcome to Olympus, dear Grace. Our home hidden away in plain sight. Marvelous, isn't it?
How many idols are there? I've met, less than 12?
Oh, I don't know, 20, 30. Our numbers have dwindled so much I've stopped keeping track.
I didn't know there were that many gods.
We're not all equally legendary, it's true. Some idols were barely worshipped, others not at all. Indeed, not all of us are idols. Some are merely immortal. Hangers-on, if you will. You'll meet them all, given time.
Idols live here? I mean, Calliope didn't, obviously. Apollo doesn't either.
One must have special dispensation from Our Lady of Wisdom, Athena, before they can take up a private dung heap like Apollo's.
Cool.
Am I gonna have to give up my apartment?
That's rather putting the cart before the horse, darling. First, you must outlive the week.
Right. Good point. I've passed this part of the city 100 times. I've never seen this building. Was it always here, or...?
Our Lady Hecate provides glamours that allow certain things to go unseen, such as my glorious horns. Olympus is the same. Those invited see it. Those who aren't see exactly what they expect. It's not anywhere as grand as in the old country, but it serves its purpose.
I don't know, Pan. Olympus seems pretty grand to me.
As if mortals would know any better. This isn't the first time you've been here. I'm sure Hermes took you to Athena's dreary office.
That's here?
哦，那也在这个楼里。
Good one, that Hermes. Almost as dull-witted as the original, but biddable.
You asked me to meet you here?
I did. As I recall, you owe me a favor that I now wish to collect, if you'd be so kind.
感觉很听话，这个词有可能他这个门是成为了某个人的工具，是吗？他说的没错，你就是这种人，我在那等着呢，我不会为你打破规则的。
Yeah, figured as much. Persephone was right about you.
Dear, sweet, suspicious Persephone. My vicious little pomegranate, what have I ever done to you? Here's the thing. A friend has begged for my help, and you're far better suited than I to offer what he requires. I'll give you a key to reach the reliquary where he resides. You help him, and then we're even. If that's not enough incentive, the reliquary is also where you'll find the lovely Hecate. A sorceress of her power could aid your quest. What do you say?
是什么忙？什么是圣地？可卡蒂真的能帮我吗？
This person I'm to help. What does he want? And why can't you do it?
Well, Grace, there are some things you're better equipped to handle than I. This, as I understand it, is a delicate matter of the heart. One that requires a muse's hand.
Matter of the heart.
What, did you think I was sending you to rough someone up? Set something aflame? Don't be absurd. Man has an issue with his love life. Even if you can't help him, I'll treat the effort as worth the favor.
So that's it? Fix up someone's love life? Nothing trickier than that?
Oh, the way you talk, Grace. It makes me blush.
Well, it's just that...
I trade in willing favors, Grace. If I didn't, no one would want to do as I ask, and then where would I be? I may seem untrustworthy, but allow me to reassure you. If I wish you harm, you will walk into that harm knowingly, and with open arms.
好狂啊！
That's exactly what someone untrustworthy would say.
It will not take you long to learn, dear Grace, that among the idols there are fewer truth-tellers than there are liars. Truths can be hard, after all. But deception? Deception is as boring as it is simple.
This Hecate, do you think she could help me?
if she's of a mind. She is the goddess of dark magic, the creator of all our marvelous glamours. If anyone can help you, it is she.
古娜
And
拉
if
黑
she's
暗
not
之神，
of a mind?
Then she won't help you. Grace, that part is up to you. I can't be expected to do everything, can I?
What is this reliquary? Doesn't that have something to do with the bones of saints or something?
Not those relics. Our relics. The relics of ancient gods. Magical treasures collected over thousands of years. Books, mainly. We store them in a faraway place so no one unsavory can get their hands on them.
Unsavory like you?
Unsavory like most. Athena has decreed that these relics are not to be used by any save Hecate and herself. A rather dull waste of so much amassed knowledge and power, but who am I to judge? I'm not leader of the chorus.
圣地危险吗？
If these relics are off limits, does that mean they're dangerous?
Some, but I'm not asking you to chase after any of that nonsense. In fact, I'd advise against it.
But what if one of those relics could help me?
My, such an adventurer you are. It's possible, but ask Hecate first. She, and I mean this with complete and uncharacteristic seriousness, is not an idol you or anyone wishes to cross.
OK，
I'll think about it, but no promises.
Marvelous. The gentleman you seek is named Asterion. Lovely fellow, quite harmless. I'll send a package to your domicile that contains directions and the key you'll need to reach the reliquary.
I said no promises.
Well, if you decide to go, Grace, you'll still need all those things. Say hello to darling Hecate on my behalf, will you?
他派对什么时候啊？还是说都能选？再去骚扰一下 Persephone。
Ah, Grace, there you are. Did you end up going to see Pan after all?
He asked me to repay the favor I owe him by helping someone at a place called the Reliquary.
The reliquary? That's normally off limits to idols. How will you even gain access to it in order to do this favor for him?
He gave me a key.
Well, who knows where he got that? It all seems rather suspicious.
我会没事的，我也这么觉得。会有麻烦吗？
If it's off limits, does that mean I'll get into more trouble if I go?
Possibly, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. Hecate runs the reliquary and has considerable knowledge at her disposal. She might assist your investigation, provided it's written in her bloody book.
Her book?
You'll see. Now then, unless you've something else to ask?
No, not really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
去圣地看看。这是一片涂鸦区啊！啊？
When I opened that shipping container, I was expecting, I don't know, rats.
Yeah.
我的朋友什么时候
Instead
出
we
现
have... Where the hell are we?
It's hard to say. Weren't we going to some kind of library?
他是这么跟我说的。我觉得你会喜欢那里，这里可能不安全。
Maybe I shouldn't have brought you here.
I live for danger.
This isn't D&D, Freddy. Some of these idols, they mean business.
Do not start dissing D&D. There is literally no better preparation for facing a world of gods and magic. Plus, my initiative is ace.
You are such a nerd.
Speaking of, how much do you actually know about Hecate and this idol you're supposed to help?
和我说说和凯蒂的事，我们要来帮的人叫
The idol we're here to help is named Asterion.
And you know who that is, right?
No. Should I?
That's the Minotaur's real name. You know, big bullhead, horns, lives in a giant labyrinth.
Pan did not mention that.
Why am I not surprised?
真不靠谱啊！
This Minotaur. You don't think he might be dangerous, do you?
Well, traditionally he eats people, but he was also supposed to have been slain by the hero Theseus.
Well, not so slain after all. Pan says he has a problem with his love life.
Maybe he needs to stop eating all his girlfriends? Okay, I knew that sounded wrong the moment I said it.
惊呆了。
Do you know anything about this Hecate? It's not a name that rings bells.
Let's see. Well, she was the goddess of witchcraft, the really dark kind. Oh. But she's never really portrayed as evil. She was more of an outsider, lived alone, off in her little corner of the underworld. Do you think that's where we could be? Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I bet knowledge is important to her. It could be an angle if you talk to her.
也许就你用得上，好主意，你太了不起了。
An angle for you, maybe. Books are your thing.
She says, knowing full well she's the smartest person I've ever met.
If I'm so smart, how am I in this predicament?
It's not a predicament, Grace. It's an adventure.
好了，该进去了。
We should go inside instead of standing out here in the fog.
It's more of a mist, really.
A mist potentially full of monsters.
In we go, then. Are you really planning on doing that favor for Pan?
我对遗物很感兴趣，如果可以的话，可以想顺两件。
Honestly, the reliquary is what I'm really interested in.
Ooh, a plan C. Go on.
There has to be some magical relic that could help me out. The trick will be finding it and getting my hands on it.
That will be a trick, yeah. I love your plans.
哇，白毛。
I guess the Titan thing is literal, huh?
还是黑皮。
Mortals within the reliquary. Who permits this intrusion, this sacrilege? This knowledge is not meant for the likes of you. I shall grind you into the dust from whence you came.
好凶啊！我不是凡人，快跑 ，Freddy！
But I'm not mortal! Wow, does that sound weird coming out of my mouth?
You, perhaps, but the one with you? Mortals cannot learn of the knowledge kept here. Not ever!
Freddy 是特别的。
Freddy's not just any mortal. She's special. And she already knows about the idols.
We have been revealed. We are undone!
好抓马呀！
No, not undone. I swear, I can go if you want. I will. I'm not going to tell a soul. It's enough that I even got to see this place. It is so amazing. It's like the Great Library of Alexandria, which, you know, was destroyed, and one of the greatest tragedies of human history.
哇，就这么安抚下来了，不愧是你 ，Freddy。
I have created this sanctuary at
哇，
great
缩小了，
cost. Knowledge is fragile and must be respected.
这么容易顺毛啊！我们从头说起吧，我需要你的帮助。和卡蒂，这是 Freddy。
Maybe we should start over. My name's Grace. It's a pleasure to meet you.
No, you cannot be Grace.
Sure am.
Then Calliope is dead. Is that now? I thought that was not for another 11 months yet.
你知道他会死，为什么？
Wait, what? You knew Calliope was going to die?
No, I am not informed of this for another 11 months and 3 days.
Or I could just tell you now?
That cannot be. It is written.
什么啊？
Yes, it's right here. Calliope joins Grace's band. They become friends. Months later, there is an automobile accident and...
An accident? No, that's not what happened.
Are you saying the books are wrong?
他刚才那个 automobile 那个汽车，他发音 automobile， 这是什么不出门的人设吗？你有麻烦了。
Guess I'm not the only one with a problem.
But this cannot be.
The sooner you accept that someone, somehow, screwed up your magic books, the sooner we can get on to figuring out what happened.
Uh-oh.
You will explain. We will both sit, and you will explain. There will be tea.
但还挺好看的，变小之后。
Curious. It is clear something unanticipated has occurred, something outside the realm of fate.
Is that even possible?
It is, but I must follow the threads back to their source to find the origin of the deviation. It may take years of research.
Years? I don't have years.
That is unfortunate. If there is nothing else, I must ask you both to leave so I may begin at once.
我们来帮你啊，我们来给你当助手。你不能加快速度吗？能这么直接的问吗？
Is there no way to speed that up? Whoever's behind it might be the murderer.
Such threads are not so easily untangled. I must consult the Moirai, if indeed they are not the ones responsible.
The Moi what?
You might know them as the Fates. They, or any beings of a sufficiently cosmic nature, have the power to undo the order of things.
That does not sound good.
Certainly not. They are also not beings I can summon at a whim to solve your mystery. I am sorry.
Actually, I came here to speak to Asterion. If, he is here.
A visitor for Asterion? How strange.
哦呦，泰坦吗？哇，这脚！
Oh,
哇，
are we doing guests? Is that a thing? I didn't know.
你怎么这么憨啊？
Okay, Freddy was right.
As if there was any doubt.
My old friend, this is
yeah.
Grace. She is our muse from the line of Calliope, and it is she who asked for you.
我是来解决你的情感问题的，我们能谈談吗？
That's right. I'm here to improve your love life. Or so I'm told. Did I say something wrong?
No, love
Arnold
life
was
needed
like,
here.
"You-"
Now, you've got the wrong man. Man ball.
我没听到。
There you have it, Grace. I believe now is the time when you leave.
There must be some mistake.
There is no mistake. Not this time.
Are you sure about that? Because I'm not going.
It is written.
Did you hear that? Pan sends me all this way and Asterion won't even talk to us?
Maybe there's another Asterion?
Yeah, more likely Pan's got me chasing my tail. This was pointless.
Well, I don't think we're getting back inside. Do you have another plan?
去找潘，能溜进去吗？还是别溜进去了吧？这万一他们觉得啊，你溜进我的家，我能把你弄死。
I don't know if my powers will even work on Hecate, but it's worth a shot.
Ooh, a musical number. Do you think this one could be... do you hear what I'm hearing?
Oh, you're still here? I had to run the entire... Oh, that's a long way, isn't it? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to send you away, alright? I just couldn't tell you, not in front of Kate.
为什么不能在他面前说？那现在说吧。
Why couldn't you...
哦
Wait. Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Oh, this is so great. I love this.
I heard what you said about Calliope. I can help you. I really, really can. It has to be you. I am so in love with my dear sweet Kate. I just don't know how to tell her. Please help me tell her.
我不同意这门婚事。你真的是。
Do you really call Hecate Kate? Off topic, I know, but I have to ask.
Well, sometimes she has to go into the mortal world for a short time and do things for Athena.
Uh-huh. And...
Well, she had to make up a magic disguise, a new identity. And I thought she should give it a proper name.
And you suggested Kate?
Yeah, she really liked it. She said, "Thank you, Asterion."
不用，我自己去干，我不要你的帮忙。
Are you really the Minotaur? Like, the monster who roamed a maze and ate people?
And is supposed to be dead.
Well, my father locked me up in a labyrinth, but I never ate anyone.
Oh, well, that's good.
Except Theseus. But he was a bellend.
Let me get this straight. You're in love with Hecate. That Hecate.
Oh, mate, Kate is... She's just the best. Like, she knows everything and she always smells so good. Like, she's so nice to me and she doesn't even have to be. Oh, we got stuck in the tower together because we can't live in the mortal world. I know I could make her happy. Well, I want to try. Oh, won't you help me?
我觉得你不用踹，人家一个人过得挺好的。
Have you tried, I don't know, talking to her about how you feel? I take that as a no.
I don't have the words. I've tried. Every time I end up knocking over a table, or killing a cat, or talking about how sometimes meat has that grisly texture I don't like.
You killed her cat? Oh, no.
It was a small cat. I panicked. I'm just not good at words, right? Really not good.
我不要，我能不走这条线吗？
Okay, so you're in love with Hecate. What is it you think I can do?
A muse knows about poetry and the heart and how to make words beautiful. All I want is to ask her, but I need good words. You know, please say you'll help me.
这不是很奇怪吗？你拿什么报答我？万一他拒绝你呢？
I don't know. Doesn't this feel a little weird?
Which part?
Helping him woo her with my powers.
You heard what Pan said. You can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. You can only make them say what's in their heart.
Yeah, that's the part I can't do.
Hecate might say no. You know that, right?
Well, she probably will. I mean, she's Kate. And I'm me. But just once, I'd like to be able to ask her, you know, to say it out loud instead of thinking it. I'll still help you. No matter what she says. I promise.
I do this and you'll help me in return, right?
Athena made Kate swear she's not allowed to say anything about what happens at the tower. But she never made me swear. Maybe she never thought anyone would ask. But I'll tell you. Even if Kate doesn't like it, I'll tell you.
If I do this first.
If you help me, any trouble will be worth it.
I can't say I'm exactly sure what to do.
Can't you just, start the music?
Yeah, but to do what?
Oh, leave that to me. I am so excited about this, I can't even stand it.
What exactly did you have in mind, Freddie?
I'll set up a vibe and you go for it.
I'm not great at words. I'm more of a dancer.
Just speak from the heart. Be honest. You can do it.
You cast a spell on me. Not literally, obviously. But I feel in summary, you and me are meant to be. 'Cause you put a hex on me. You didn't do it to me directly. I'm not blaming you specifically, just that metaphorically. Shit, can someone help me? Right off the bat, I'm done. 'Cause you've gone all quiet, it's deafening silence. I'm just joking, having fun. So let's ignore that bit before.
I knew this would come. It was written, a confession unbidden. You say that you're smitten, perhaps you're possessed. I have one request. Is this real how you feel, or is this part of some elaborate jest?
It's not, my love.
My love?
Yes, keep going. Try again.
You've cast a spell on me. It's a feeling that's killing me. But let's say categorically, oh Katie, it's just you and me. Everything I do for you is perfect for this minor tour. And sure, I killed your cat Baboo, but watch me move this shelf all by myself.
I saw this day long ago. What to do, I do not know. I was dismissive of any true kind of love of my own. Yet I'm not alone. You have always been true. It is all too...
I don't mean to confuse you, my love.
My love?
Oh, God.
Is that too weird?
I have yet to decide, Asterion.
Then,
Keep it together, Asterion. Don't lose it.
Hecate, you've cast a spell on me, and I'm ashamed of what your magic has done to me. I could have kept my mouth shut, now it's agony, and you've gone all weird, and that's what I feared. Someone please rescue me.
Stand back, there's nothing to see. Everyone move along, it's a car crash of a song.
But you're wrong, make no apology. See, she hasn't disappeared.
She is standing right here.
I know when I stand next to you, I don't feel like such a freak. I know you feel that way too. You're not like other gods. My love, what are the odds that we're here? Us outsiders should cheer that we found each other.
Why didn't you open with that?
Oh, was that good? Kate, will you dance with me? Oh, never mind. You know, this isn't the first time I've pretended to dance with you.
Yes,
Twirl!
Who thought a ball could live under a shell? I don't need your answer, you know me too well. This love is my truth, and I know in my soul that the magic in here is beyond our control.
It's true, there's a part of me that yearns for more. If I had my pick, it'd be you I adore. Not all this written, powers greater than fate give meaning to what the world puts on our plate. Yet, even so, this could all go astray.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
He's bared his soul, so what's the debate? Will you let him in before it's too late?
I cannot do this, Asterion. The pain you feel now is nothing compared to what would come.
But the pain I feel now, Kate, it's killing me.
I can take it away. You need only say the word.
Do it.
Wait.
I have to do this, Grace. I want this.
I call on the heralds of an ancient darkness to guide this sweet creature off this treacherous road. In all of creation, love is most leaden. I beg of the cosmos to lighten his load. For he may love, but will not be in love. For he may Your love was never a lie. It is simply no longer true. And I know, in my heart, I am rescuing you. The arrow of Eros I forced to undo. I put a spell on you.
It worked. I don't love you anymore. Well, no offense, Kate. I still like you and all, but...
Once a month, I shall place a glamour so that mortals will see you simply as a man. You may go out into their realm and look for the love you so desire.
I am... Thank you, Kate. It's not what I wanted, but it's more than I deserve.
If I had known you felt so, dear friend, I would have offered it long ago. As for you, Grace, I thank you for arranging this diversion, however it came to pass.
哇，我好喜欢这段安排啊，就感觉一下让他的人设变得非常丰满了。一个赫卡蒂就感觉一下非常具有神性的那种感觉。你可以帮我来作为回报。你知道这件事会发生吗？你不生气吧？
Didn't you know this was gonna happen ahead of time?
Yes, but it was also written that I would be surprised by Asterian's revelation. So I was. Those are the rules.
That is seriously weird.
It was also... what is the word? Fun? Rarely does revelry find its way into the reliquary.
No hard feelings, I hope, about me using my powers?
You helped Asterian speak his feelings, and I to speak mine. It was a kind thing, even if it did not end as Asterian originally hoped.
Do I get to decide what I look like when I go to the mortal world?
Within reason, and appropriate to your mass.
So I gotta be big. Okay, alright, yeah, I can work with this.
Come, Asterian, there is much to be done. I will need my pens, a sample of blood, and you will need to dig up my cat.
Hey, wait for me outside, yeah?
这个牛的这个口音好澳大利亚。
How long are we supposed to wait? It's been over an hour.
I'm sure it's fine, Grace. I doubt the Minotaur would break his promise. See? What'd I tell you?
Whew. You still here? I'm sorry. Kate had a lot to say.
We're still here because you and I have an agreement.
Right, so, I suppose you want to know how Calliope broke into the reliquary that night.
She did what?
No, we didn't know anything about that. Do you mean the night she died?
Oh, well, I thought you already knew. Yeah, the night Calliope died, she broke in somehow. Thing is, we know she didn't take anything or even touch anything. I just remember the alarms, and I chased after her.
有警报器，找到它了吗？
Did you say the reliquary has alarms? Like burglar alarms, cameras?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It just has a lot of protections. You know, magic.
I don't know magic, actually.
Oh, well, it's just meant to keep the dangerous stuff from being touched. It was set off, so something happened in the reliquary. We just, don't know what exactly.
Those alarms don't go off if someone breaks into the reliquary? They don't detect intruders?
Well, normally nobody does that.
Well, Calliope did. She got in somehow.
Well, she must have snuck in the back way. Where do you think I keep running from? Whatever Calliope did here, it was enough to set off the alarms. That's all I know.
What relics are there? Maybe Calliope was looking for one but couldn't find it before...
Yeah, that I'm not supposed to say.
Do you have the golden fleece, the shield of Zeus, the sword of Damocles? Is it suspended?
You know a lot about that stuff for a mortal.
So it's all real?
I can neither confirm nor deny any of that. All I know is that nothing got used and nothing got taken.
How do you know Calliope didn't touch or take anything?
Kate knows everything in the reliquary, right down to the last book. She's been looking, but she can't figure if anything was touched. It makes her so mad not to know. And it made Athena pretty mad too.
Athena got involved?
Yeah, when Kate finally told her. Athena wants Kate to keep investigating, but it doesn't look good.
Athena knows what happened here the night Calliope died?
Yeah, Kate told her a day or so later, I think. We didn't know Calliope died that night, though.
What? Athena didn't mention it?
Nope. Not that that's weird. She's not the chatty type, you know. She came in all quiet and cool, wanted to know who was here that night and what Calliope might have wanted. She swore Kate to silence. Not me, though. Guess she's not as smart as Kate.
她有点可疑。
You chased Calliope, but did you ever catch up with her?
No. If I'd have caught her, I'd have brought her back and Kate would have gotten answers out of her. All I know is that she was hurt, bleeding bad, but I don't know why. I wanted to help her, but she got away in the fog. Then I ran into Medusa.
Wait, what? Medusa? Here?
Yeah. Well, she's not normally here. I think maybe she was chasing after Calliope too.
What was Medusa doing here?
She was chasing after Calliope too, I think, but she wouldn't say why. I asked. She never got into the reliquary, though. She was just out here in the fog.
Couldn't Medusa have broken in like Calliope did?
Yeah, but I chased Calliope from the reliquary. If Medusa had been there, I would have seen her.
How could Calliope have been wounded?
It couldn't have been Medusa, like I said. She never got close.
But Calliope was wounded inside the reliquary?
That's where the blood was. We don't have anything that would attack anyone, though.
So someone else. But they did it inside the reliquary.
If so, they vanished after.
这就是好了
This means Calliope came here the night she died. This is where she was attacked.
But we don't know by whom.
We know Medusa was here. She might even have been involved.
She's super scary, but, you know she works for Athena, right? I thought maybe that's why she was here, but Athena said she didn't know about it.
That does seem
太
suspicious.
可疑了。
If that's all you need, then I have to go. Kate will be so mad if she finds me gone. Good luck, Muse.
You okay there, friendo?
前面没有选上，如果说让赫卡蒂帮我们的话，会有怎么样？为什么没有选项？他就没有选择的时候，他就直接过去了。我以为能全选一遍。
I'm okay. We learned a lot. I just wish I knew why Calliope was here in the first place.
Maybe that's a question for Medusa.
Sure, if only I knew where to find her.
One thing at a time, Grace. You'll figure it out. I know you will.
I guess so. Next thing is to go back to Pan. Tell him his favor is done.
What an adventure.
Sorry?
You're just lucky, Grace. Luckier than you think. You go do what you have to, and I'll meet you back at the apartment, okay?
Pan! I hope you're here, because I don't know where else to look for you.
Of course I'm here, Grace. Where else would I be but amongst the trees and the wild things? I really must thank you, by the by. Asterion is simply over the moon, and he's already repaid me with this select tome from the reliquary.
你利用了我，原来你想得到一本书，不用谢。
So you used me. All part of your trading favors thing?
Of course. I used you, I used Asterion, you used Asterion, Asterion used you. Is this not the way the world works?
Why not just tell me what you were after?
And risk nosy Hecate somehow digging it out of you. Perish the thought. I trust you got what you needed. More grist for the mill of your innocence, as it were.
You already knew I would, right?
Oh? Did I?
Come on, Pan. How stupid do you think I am? The place you sent me for this favor just happens to be where Calliope was attacked. You had to know I'd discover that. If you wanted me to know, why not just tell me? What's the angle? Tell me why I shouldn't be suspicious, Pan.
You have no reason to be suspicious. I know nothing of what happened to Calliope at the reliquary. I suppose the question at the heart of this is, do you believe me?
Give me a reason to believe you, Pan.
You want the ever-elusive proof. If I had that to offer, do you think I would hesitate to share it? Alas, it is my burden to be forever condemned by my idle brethren. I've become accustomed to it. Truly. I've never lied to you, Grace, and I never shall. If you're looking for innocence, however, well, I'm afraid that's one thing I cannot provide.
And if I can't accept that? If I find out you're somehow involved in this?
You'll do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and we'll see where that takes us.
If you're still up for trading favors, I could use more help.
Oh, of course you could. You could live the high life, Grace. Throw caution to the wind. Embrace what you can before you...
Before I die? You don't have any hope for me, do you? You're just taking what you can get before it's over.
You'll want to find Medusa, I suppose.
She was at the reliquary, but you already knew that.
You'll find Medusa at a dingy little club appropriately named the Viper's Nest. Give her my regards. But do be careful if you call on her, Grace. Medusa is a hideous monster and should be treated as such.
再去骚扰。
Back from your visit to the reliquary?
How did you know I was there?
Athena was ranting about it when I left her. She's none too pleased about you breaking the rules. Let's hope what you learned was worth it. Medusa was at the reliquary that night. You don't intend to confront her directly, do you?
为什么不可以？
I'm not sure. Isn't she dangerous?
Even if she's not actually involved in Calliope's death, yes. Still, while I hate to say it, confronting Medusa may be your best option.
You could come with me when I talk to her.
Trust me, if I'm anywhere within a mile, she'll have vanished by the time you so much as knock on her door. Just lie to me and say you'll be careful. Now then, unless you've something else to ask?
No, not really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse?
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having. Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddie?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today. Or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's gotta be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe? Who do you want to hear about?
Do you know anything about the Muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9, though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
Wow, I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right, at least.
Did she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them. Oddly, there's never any mention of the word idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the eidolon.
Which is a Greek word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Makes sense.
Me? I'm more amazed at all the big names missing. Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone. Makes you think about what's been lost. But also, what might still be out there.
What about Athena? Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Sure, but mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess. She was also the goddess of heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
Not being as wise as advertised is on brand for her, then. You think there might be other gods out there?
Well, there are all those gods the idols say wandered off. We don't know they're dead for sure, right? They could be living it up in Australia. Who would know? Then there are all the other mythologies, hundreds of cultures, each with their own pantheon. So what's so special about the Greeks? That only their gods are real, right? All those other pantheons could be living in secrecy, just like the idols. And that means they're hidden from each other, too. Oh, they could be everywhere and no one would know.
It's like a whole other secret side to the world.
Yeah, it's cool, right? I hope I get to meet Ganesha one day. Or maybe Lakshmi?
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
Weren't they all like that, though?
I mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted anyone as a swan. And no, they aren't all like that. Our sun god had a reputation.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry, she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
You're right, that doesn't sound like her at all.
Must be hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well, she is pretty pissed. That much is true. You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him?
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil. Weirdly, he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
I wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Okay, so you could have real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up and people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline, Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right. What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
No, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things?
Then where is Kaz
Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
I should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or two, we get back to it and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
Okay, that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddie. Time for more mystery solving. This must be the Viper's Nest. Scariest part of town, no sign. Just that one dude glaring at everyone. Well, I'm here now. Just another day in the life of an idol.
Oh, there you are. Man, this place is the worst. I think someone peed on me.
Freddie? What are you doing here?
What, you thought I wouldn't notice you skulking off? You didn't even bring any equipment, Grace.
好可靠，我的挚友。
What kind of equipment does one bring to a meeting with Medusa?
This isn't a meeting, Grace. You're not here to sell her on your business plan.
Please tell me you don't have any weapons in there.
你
I
难道没有
certainly
看到那
hope
个
one
巨
of
大
you
的
brought
流
more
星
than
锤吗？
sheer ignorance.
Oh, it's you.
It is me. How exciting, no?
Pan, what are you doing here?
I'm the one who told you about this place. You didn't expect my curiosity to get the better of me?
Why are you really here, Pan? The truth this time.
I need to have some dastardly ulterior motive other than to be of assistance. For shame, Grace.
You just don't get it, do you? The act is wearing real thin.
It's true. I am a bad man, and I spoke poorly.
And? That's it?
I'd hope even you, Freddie, could see that advice from an idol might be useful here.
I suppose.
他真的能把人变成石头吗？美杜莎也为雅典娜工作吗？你有什么建议？
Medusa is the one who turns people into stone just by looking at them, right?
People, yes. Idols, not so much. Or that's my assumption. I'll admit to not knowing if she's ever turned her gaze on one of us.
Great. Is there any way to make someone not a statue, if it turns out she can?
Short of Medusa dying? No. Not unless she wishes it.
Asterion said Medusa works for Athena. Is that right?
A truer description, I'd say, is that she's more Athena's servant. Poor thing can't survive on her own. So she's become whatever Athena needs. Spy master, enforcer, provider of garden statuary.
真全能啊！
That doesn't sound fair.
It isn't. But keep in mind, Medusa is no helpless maiden. She is as clever as she is dangerous. And Athena knows it.
Medusa's clever and works for Athena, but what's she really like?
She doesn't exactly come to the parties, Grace. Medusa is an enigma to most of us. If idols hide in the shadows, she lurks in even darker places. She's an outsider, and she loathes us as much as she needs us.
Is she dangerous?
Let's just say we're all rather relieved she stays away.
If you have any advice, Pan, I'm all ears.
Well, I assume you know how Medusa became what she is.
She used to be human, right? And then Athena cursed her. Pretty unfairly, too.
Now, however, Athena hasn't the power to undo her own curse. Or so she claims.
That's gotta suck.
Medusa isn't happy about it, no. Yet she survives because she must. As do we all.
Okay, enough talking. Time to do this.
See? That's the spirit. Now there's simply the matter of getting you in before she's aware you're here.
You're gonna help her do that?
Why not? You're more apt to become a statue than to be any true help, my dear.
Knock it off, both of you. I have a plan for getting inside.
A word of advice before we proceed. Once you find Medusa, make the number a knockout.
他俩真是不对付。
My good man, I'm wondering if you could help us with a little problem. You see, we...
That's your plan? You're just gonna walk up to him and ask? He doesn't care what our problem is.
If you could both
Little does he know that you're my biggest problem. It's been snipe, snipe, snipe ever since I arrived.
Oh, and I guess you'd rather I
Nicely
left, huh?
done.
That would be convenient,
Just
wouldn't
keep
it?
them busy
I'm not
while
going
I look
anywhere,
around.
goat man.
“这是在做什么？”
What a long day, hiding in the light. Such a long day, dreaming of tonight. This sacred bite. Hello, who's that there? You've messed up my flow. Just get your drink, girl, and take your seat. Oh, it's the muse. There are sacred bites, and then there's this sacred bite. So wrong, so right. I'm really gonna hate myself tonight.
Medusa, listen, stop, I'm warning you. This is something you don't want to do.
Tell me more about me, look at you. A prime sashimi with opinions too.
Medusa, listen, I'm warning you.
Yes, keep on warning
There's no
me.
rewinding, it's something you can't undo. Can't undo.
It's kind of the point, lovely.
Now
Look into me. Your body goes freely every time I see it tenders, turning jelly as it renders. I think you're saying I can't speak, and that was why can't I speak? I call it the preparation. All right, Alright, that's fine, you want the boring facts. Well, dear, this process makes your meat relax. Turn you to stone. And miss that lovely musy taste of you. And it's just murder on the jumpers too. That thing you said before, you're right, it's true. Feels extra special doing something you can't undo. Look into me. Oh, she's looking away. Hey,
I'm just a temporary muse. Wait,
a temporary muse.
I'm not worth the price.
It's not
I'm
something you can choose.
Not some exotic slide. I'm afraid only idols can look away from me.
Nice try.
You and Athena. Here's the thing I don't get. Are you her spy, some sort of PI, or more like her pet? Am I hurting the mood when I mention her name?
The fact that she'd hate that you're on my plate only makes me more game. Look into
Medusa, look into your own eyes. Nope. Okay, the phone thing doesn't work on you. Ooh. Nevertheless, let's take a look at you. Fan called you hideous. That's just untrue.
enough.
I'd kill for eyes like that. The body too.
Don't look at me.
Maybe the hair needs some attending to.
Don't look at me.
Big picture, honey. It's nothing you can't undo. Yeah, you're not a killer. You're much too cute.
You're lost, little girl. No more Hail Marys. We both know the cute girl's you. The killer's me.
You don't know, you don't know.
I do know that you didn't
Kill Calliope. So you know that it's true that I didn't do it.
No.
Yes, you do know, you know. Does that mean Athena knows?
No. Fine grace.
Don't you see, Medusa? You are just her tool. Your queen's a user. Your Athena's feet will be slightly tougher. She's a friend to me. We can get you free.
You said to me,
Persephone can get you free.
so free.
Is that a yes?
That's a maybe.
Maybe what?
They must be hypnotized by your amazing butchness.
Must be, I guess.
Are they serious?
That depends. What do you think, Medusa? Will you help me out?
Oh, fine. Fine. What exactly is it that you want, pretty muse?
你也想吃卡利亚佩？你为什么去圣地？你不知道？
You were at the reliquary the night Calliope was murdered. I want to know why.
Blast! This is why I didn't tell Lady Athena. I knew it would come back to haunt me. I only followed pretty Calliope to the reliquary. I never spoke to her, never even caught up to her. I swear it.
That's what Asterion told us, more or less.
But you were there that night.
Yes, I admit it. Ugh, Lady Athena will have my head. She'll mount it on a pike. Whatever you might think of me, I had no part in the Muse's death. I did not even know she'd been attacked until I saw her fleeing.
Asterion said he caught up with you out in the fog. Is that right?
I thought he was the one who had attacked her. He is a great beast of a creature.
Oh, that seems rather unlikely. The bull's as gentle as a lamb.
Yeah, pretty much that.
Yes, I only realized my mistake once I caught up to him, and by then the Muse was gone.
And you never found her afterwards?
I thought she might flee to her pretty home, or to the sharp and prickly Persephone. She did neither.
Yeah, she came to see me. You followed Calliope to the reliquary. Why were you shadowing her at all?
I am Lady Athena's spy master, yes. Calliope has been trouble from time to time.
So you were spying on her?
I keep watch over every idol who no longer lives in Olympus, but especially Calliope. When I realized she was headed to the reliquary that eve, I followed. I had a duty to Athena.
Did you ever find out why Calliope went there?
I was never close enough to ask. When I drew near to the reliquary, that is when I saw the Muse fleeing. She was frightened, bloodied, dying.
A tasty snack for you to hunt down.
I gave chase, yes, but to discover the truth. I knew Lady Athena would wish to know.
That does make sense from your perspective.
I didn't learn the truth until later. And then it was far too late.
You haven't told Athena any of this? You agreed to help, remember?
I told her Calliope was at the reliquary that night. I did not tell her I was also there.
Why not? Wouldn't Athena find out from Hecate anyway?
I was not thinking clearly. I panicked. Lady Athena barely tolerates my presence as it is. If she thought I was involved in any way, if she even suspected...
Why should we believe you? You did just try to eat me, remember?
I agreed to help you. I speak the truth.
Right, and not at all trying to cover your own ass.
You presented an opportunity. Oh, to taste the sweet, sweet blood of a hero once again. It's a problem. I've been working on it, I really have. I know it's hard to believe what a monster tells you, but it is true.
Okay, let's say we believe you. For the moment.
I've told you everything I know. We have a bargain. You said my curse might be lifted.
Hey, I'll ask Persephone. That's all I can do.
Whatever you do, pretty muse, I beg you. Do not. I know what I am horrifies you. It horrifies me as well. I cannot help what I am. I did not ask to be cursed like this.
你以前这么干过吗？开玩笑吧，我会考虑的。
Whether I tell Athena depends. Have you done this before?
Medusa, what happened to Artemis?
She left? I am a lost and cursed thing. No idol. If Lady Athena should learn the truth...
这俩有什么故事吗？
I hope you find what you seek, pretty muse. And that we meet again someday. And sing a different song.
他也是个受害人。
Freddie, may I just say what a delight your resourcefulness has proven.
And you're not completely awful, I guess. Pondering the big question, Grace. Do we actually believe her?
不知道，也有道理，遗漏了一些东西，显而易见。
Seems a little obvious, doesn't it? If Medusa wanted to eat Calliope, why didn't she?
Well, you got away. Maybe Calliope did too.
So Medusa stabbed her and then ran off hoping Athena wouldn't find out? Now, Medusa's fear was real. She just doesn't want to be blamed.
Okay, so that was fun. Grace, I'll meet you back at home.
这一背包的
I trust that little adventure was useful to you, Grace?
谢谢你过来，我原谅你，我不会原谅你的。
Wow, that is pretty pathetic, I have to say.
You wound me, Grace. My pride, look at it lying there.
You're the worst. Fine, I forgive you.
Since you are safe and uneaten, I shall leave you to your adventures. Until we meet again, dear Grace.